Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sallystampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm bringing you my Peaceful Cabin Christmas box. As you can see, I've gone a little bit rogue with the colours. Peaceful Cabin is generally all greys, but I've decided to go a little bit off course here and I've used Pool Party. I think it's really lovely. It adds a totally different effect to the card, but equally means that you can mix it up and make it for male or female recipients. It is a good sized box, she says, when she can get the lid off. So you could fill that with, you know, quite a mixture of different products and gifts and everything. So yeah, it is a lovely sized gift box and it's actually really easy to make. So I'm going to show you how to make it. It does take a little bit of card, I'm afraid, but equally I really like it. So let's see where I'm at here, because I've got bits of card everywhere. There we go, that's better. So, for your sides of your card, you will need two pieces that are 6 by 6.5. So this is Blushing Bride. So I've gone with the pink and the blue. Oops, why have we gone out of focus? What's happening? I'm having real issues with this for some reason with this camera today, don't know why. So yeah, so Blushing Bride and 6 by 6.5, and on the 6.5 sides, which is 16.5 by 15 centimeters, on the long side we're going to score at 3 and 6, which will be, no, not that one, 7.5 and 15. So 3 and 6, and that is as simple as that one is. So I'm just gonna fold and burnish those score lines, and the same on this one. And this is just really because my card, obviously with them being 3 inches, I wouldn't have any space for these tabs here, so that's the only reason for doing that. So run some adhesive down one of your sides here, and I'm just going to line this one up on there and join them together. So now I in effect just have one piece. Then I need to add my DSP panels. I've left my sheet of DSP whole because I wanted to show you how I cut it in order to get the pattern as I have. Because if you just simply cut it in half, let me just grab my trimmer. Yeah, the DSP needs to be 5 3/4 by 2 3/4. So this is simply just a piece of DSP 12 by 12 that I've just, well, I actually cut, I just sort of cut in half really, or just under. So yeah, the first thing I did simply was to cut it at 6 inches, which will automatically halve the picture, but equally means I still have same distance here. And then I need it to be 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. So I'm going to take the excess off the bottom here, because it is just a fine bit, but it's only the white then that I'm cutting away. And it's 14.5 by 7, sorry, in centimetres. And then 2 3/4. It just means that you get the same depth of your image then, if you like. I hope that makes sense. I'm not really making myself very clear, but yeah, you know what I mean. It means all your panels have the same depth, and the Christmas tree should in effect all work the same. So move that out of the way. Let's pop these on. So they're simply just going to sit on the sides here. Just check I'm still recording, since I've had so many issues with this today. Okay, so that's that one, and then the last one will go on here. And then I just need to add adhesive down this side and fold that over. And that is the inner part of your box. Okay, so for the lid and the base, which are made exactly the same, you need a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 7, and you need a double shim. So 2 pieces of cardstock together that will act as your shim. And we're going to score, so it's 7 by 7, 17.5 by 17.5 centimetres, double shim, and we're going to score at 1 and 2 inches, so 2.5 and 5 centimetres on all 4 sides. So we're just going to go round 1 and 2, 2.5 and 5 centimetres with my double shim in place on all sides. There we go. So you need to do that for 2 pieces, exactly the same. Fold and burnish your score lines all the way around, and these are just so that we have reinforced lids and bases. So once you've done that, you need to do some cutting. I have done these numerous times before, but we're basically working on these 4 squares in each corner. So I'm going to cut down to separate them. I'm going to take away, wait a minute, brain's gone, yes. I'm going to take away the outer one and cut a small wedge into there. I'm going to take that one away, and then I'm going to cut wedges into there and into there. Okay, I'm going to repeat that this side, so you cut down both of them, past the first horizontal score line into the second, get rid of the furthest one and also cut a wedge into that piece. Halve this one, cut wedges and cut a wedge into this one here. Okay, rotate now, it's at the top, and again repeat down here. And you're going to do this for both pieces, so they're both made exactly the same. So you're just cutting away and wedging those edges. Just do this last one. I have to confess, I've not long had my lunch, and although I only had some soup, I've gone really sleepy now. So if I suddenly go quiet, I haven't dozed off, I'm just sort of in that after lunch stupor. Okay, so once you've done both of your pieces, here's one I made earlier. Once you've made both of your pieces, one will be your base, one will be your lid. So for your lid, you will need, now I've just done this really to try and coordinate with the snow dropping, because I didn't want to put the trees on the top. I didn't really want anything similar, so I figured this worked best. So yeah, so it needs to be, your card needs to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 or 7 by 7 centimetres. So I'm going to pop that on this one. This will be my lid, and your DSP will be 2.5 by 2.5 or 6.5 by 6.5 centimetres. I'm just looking at that, I probably could have gone with that. That would have looked quite nice too, wouldn't it? But I'll stick with this one because that's what I've done. Okay, so to make these up then, it's really simple. Add adhesive to your tabs. Flip your box over. If you have a silicone sheet, it is always advisable to use that because it makes it easier. And then you're going to put adhesive on the inside of all of these pieces here. Okay, then we're going to pop these tabs inside, and then once you've done all of those, we are then simply going to tuck all of these inside and then get your bone folder, because not only does it then give you a crisper finish here, but it also presses down the adhesive to get it to stick nice and clean. Once you've done that, you can then pop your box just inside its base. So it works like that. And now you can also see how this DSP's worked, that it's just sat nicely enough to show just above the base there. We are going to adhere this in place. I just want to do the lid the same. So again, adhesive on these tabs here. Flip the box over and add it to the inside of these parts too. And then exactly the same process, you're going to fold these in to make your box, and then, whoops, once you've done that, you then tuck these bits in and get your bone folder again to reinforce. And that is your lid. Okay. So I'm going to add my adhesive in here now, and I'm actually going to use tear and tape because this is a lot simpler and easier for sticking your box, your inside to your base. So I'm going to start off with some tear and tape, and I'm putting it on the inside of my box and as close to the top as I can. Okay, so there's still a bit of a gap, very small gap, and I'm going to do that on all 4 of my sides. So again, just pop that tear and tape in. That one, it is a little bit fiddly, but if you can sort of get, you see how I'm doing it, you put one end on, so I use that end. If you can sort of hold it a bit more as though you are lying it on, I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to do it to a slight angle, so I pop that end on, hold it down, and then put the rest. Okay, once you've done that, you then need take your pick tool, and you want to peel half of it off and fold it over. Okay, so it's folded over the lid like this, or the base. Same with all 4 of the pieces. So I'm going over, folding it down. Whoops. Over, folding that over. And the last one, fold it over. Now you put your box in. Make sure you don't lose any of these edges. Slide your box in. Be forceful with it to make sure it's flat, so push it right down. Then you pull all of these out. Ensure it's still flat, and then just gently go round, massage the sides. If you want to put your hand in, you can, but then you will find that that has adhered nice and tidy without mess, without it losing shape or going wobbly. Then my lid, pop my lid on too. Whoops, be careful of your DSP when you do it. Just make sure it's not caught. There we go. So there's my lid, and now we just need to decorate it. So I'm going to start off back with some tear and tape, and I've literally just used a small amount on each corner. Making sure it's relatively central. Do exactly the same with the lid. So I'm just going all the way around. As you can see, it's not quite an inch maybe in length. Just putting it pretty much central. I mean, that's as central as I like it anyway, on all those sides. And then back in with your silicone, and I have the beautiful white glittered organdy ribbon, and I think I want a straight edge to start with, and then decide where you want your front and back of your box. So I'm going to go with this being the front, so I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take half of this away, and then I'm just going to line that up with the edge of the box. Crumbs! It's all fingers and thumbs then. Take this one away completely. Lie that over and over. Again, this one, lie it on, and then the last corner that I haven't done. And then the last bit you've already half done, and then just get your scissors and give it a trim. And there is your ribbon on your lid. It doesn't show up too well in this light, but it looks really good. And then you just repeat that with the bottom. So the only reason for this is if you take all of the sticky off, you'll just need that to rest on. Otherwise you'll stick to your grid paper. Just the last few here. Whoops. Told you I was getting sleepy now, look, brain's not working. Okay, and then trim that one. And then, if you want to, it's your choice, you can make a little bow to put on the top. Which I did stick on with a glue dot. Is this the front, back? Yes. So I just stuck a glue dot onto there. And then the last thing is my decoration on the front. So I've already done some because you don't want to just see me die cut in circles. So basically I've taken basic grey with a scalloped circle, my blushing bride with that one, and I just have the sizes here. I then have my cabin dies here, and it literally is just a case of using the cabin and the outline. And if memory oh no, actually I think I can do this on my little one. So just move those a second. So I'm going to pop, I'm going to turn that round, see if it helps any. So I have my grey. I don't have a massive amount because I don't need it. So I'm just going to put that one just there, and that one does nest nicely over the top. And then I just need to run it through. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight, because you will see why in a second. So, whoops, they're a bit wonky. Run that through there. Oh my word. Run that through. Take that away, that away. I'm going to take this top piece away because I don't need it, but I'm leaving it stuck on there because, how did I put it? This is the same size as the pink, the blushing bride that I cut, but I now just want to layer that over the top like so and run it back through. run it back through. Whew. Suddenly gone really warm. I think it's all this die cutting. It's made me warm. Okay, so peel your die away. Crumbs. There we go. I don't need that anymore. And as you can see, it's now cut my lovely cabin. So I just want to peel it off as carefully as I can because I don't want to pull it and rip it. But you will find that it's come away in two parts, and that's fine. That's what we want. Get rid of your negative pieces. So I don't want to pull that in case it rips. Get rid of these bits. Okay, so that's one part, and then I just need this little piece here. I will clean that in a moment. And then these parts, so I'm going to stick this onto the grey, and then I'm going to add adhesive to this. Now you might be better off using wet glue. It's entirely your choice, but what I did find was that if you stick this bottom piece on first, it's easier to guide. So you just simply follow in the curve of the blushing bride, and then this sits across the edge, but it also left a small gap. And as you can see, you then get, oops, the die there that just sits perfectly, which I think looks really good. Now, on this one, I used, I don't know if you can see it, maybe a little bit here, I used the shimmery crystal effects, but to be fair, I got one tiny piece of glitter, and I really didn't like the look of it, so I'm going to literally put Wink of Stella instead on this one, and we'll see how that looks. But I'm really just putting it where the snow would have been on the cabin, which is another reason why I thought the shimmery glittery effect things would look good. And in fact, if you wanted to, you could just cover the whole thing in Wink of Stella. Oh my words, lost my mind completely then. And then all you need to do is add a couple of dimensionals onto the back, and obviously if you want to add tags or labels or anything like that, then you can. I just quite like this. I love that. I'm really spoilt for choice now. I don't know which one I prefer the most, Pool Party or Blushing Bride, because I think they both look pretty good. Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for having a great October. Wow. And there we go again. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all again soon.